Hello, my fellow Americans. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. It's day 53 of the Oregon lockdown. Saturday, what is it, January the 9th? And if you're like many of the Americans, fellow patriots that I know, you're probably not too happy with the new year, 2021. I hope you're having a happy new year, but chances are you're not. Did you get your $600 stimulus check? You know, I read a meme on Facebook. It said $600 won't even pay half my rent, but I can buy a gun and ammo with it. And as you're probably aware, there was I don't know what to call it, a skirmish, not really a skirmish, not really a riot. Let's call it a spontaneous mob stampede at the Capitol in Washington, D.C. And a lot of people think it's an embarrassment to the world. And our Vice President, Mike Pence, even said something to the effect that, violence is never right. It's not the answer. Well, I would like to ask Mike Pence, Mr. Vice President, are you aware of what happened in 1776? You see, it gets down to bullets, or rather ballots, or bullets. And some people think that everything's fine with the election, that we should just move along as if everything was 100% right. Now, I know people all over the country, and I guess technically all over the world, but as far as this country goes, I know a few people that live in Atlanta, Georgia. And I guess there were some shenanigans with this Democratic senator runoff there, or the Senate runoff, and the two Democrats won. But it seems like, according to some people there, that they did the same shenanigans this go round. But let's just say everything was on the up and up, and those two senators won fair and square, and Biden won fair and square. Let's just go down that road and say that's the way it happens, and that's the way it happened, and we're going to have to live with it, and we'll accept it. The problem is what is going to transpire next. Already Twitter has permanently banned President Trump. Well, on the one hand, that's okay. Twitter is a private company. It might even be a public company, but it's private, and they have every right to decide who can and can't be a part of that platform. Now, it's going to be really interesting if a platform comes out and wants to ban a certain class or group of people, whether it's based on skin color, sexual orientation, gender, or whatever, political affiliation, political leaning, religious beliefs. I mean, if we go down that path, it's going to get real interesting. It really is. But, yep, I do believe they have the right to ban Trump if they go, this is our platform, basically this is our game, here's the rules. Either you play by our rules or there's the door. And I guess That's the way it is. But on the other hand, I read today that I guess some of the Democrats want to go and outlaw Fox News. And the year's 2021, but it seems like we're living in 1984, the George Orwell 1984. And I just think that the push has turned into a shove. And I think some people are going to start shoving back. You know, going back to that little incident at the Capitol, it was totally spontaneous, and people want to blame President Trump. You know, I don't think he can take credit for it or get faulted with the blame, because I didn't see him leading the charge. You know, he wasn't being George Washington or Thomas Jefferson leading the charge and saying, hey, you know, let's take our country back. And I think that might be the reason why he got banned from Twitter. It's because he has a lot of devoted followers. A lot. And I'm sure a lot of them would go into battle for him in his name. And I think that's what really has the Democrats scared. Because as I was talking to one friend of mine, shout out to Ben, and he was telling me how, you know, these congressmen and senators were all cowering under their desk like scared little rabbits. But as soon as, you know, things got over control, they come out all big and bad, like, yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. Yeah, well, I guess they showed their true colors and just how much backbone they really have. And, you know, the thing about it is, this system was never set up to have career politicians. Never was. Shouldn't be. And all that needs to get changed. I mean, term limits, you know, they should have been in decades ago, not over a century ago. Never should have been career politicians. I mean, can you imagine if Washington, Jefferson, and some of the rest of those guys were around to see what's happened? They'd be smacking somebody upside the head. It's like, how did you let this happen? Well, part of the reason this happens is that, you know, when good people do nothing, they condone it. You know, if you see a wrong and you don't stand up, you don't do anything to make it, you know, fix that wrong, then basically you're part of the problem. And most people in this country pretty much just want to be left alone. You know, especially people who live out here. We just want to be left alone, let us do our thing, and, you know, get off our backs and out of our pockets. But there's other people who think that, you know, we should all get together, one big kumbaya, and everybody take care of everybody. You know, that works in small groups of like-minded people, and I'm all for that. If that's what you believe, do it. But, you know, when you start to tell the rest of the people that they have to do like that too, that's where you're going to have problems. That's where you're going to have problems. Every time. Because some people just don't like to be told what to do or how to talk or any of that. They just don't. And some people react violently. And that's what it's going to come to. It really is. You know, oh, you shouldn't condone violence or anything. And I'm not condoning violence. I'm just stating the facts as I see it. You know, and the thing is, this new world, 2021 world, this coronavirus world, I can pretty much see the handwriting on the wall. Things aren't going to be the way they ever were. When have they ever been, if you think about it? You know, we evolve, we devolve, we progress, we regress. Nothing stays the same except that things change. You just have to accept it. You have to figure out how to make your life as best as it can be. That's really what it gets down to. You know, a roof over the head, You know, water to drink, food to eat, something to keep you warm when it's cold and cool when it's hot. Yeah, just this, you know, those creature comforts. You know, but I don't know, will we ever get to go to sporting events again? Don't know. Big concerts, galleries, the theater, things that people, you know, the social things that people like, having big parties. I don't know. And then I guess there's a Biden appointee who says we won't ever come together unless we all feel like the equal pain and misery, where it hurts us all in the pocketbook. I mean, do you think those elected leaders are going to feel it in their pocketbooks? They just want to rain suffering upon us. I mean, can you believe somebody would actually say something like that? You know, I mean, I saw the videos. I mean, it's not like, you know, somebody's telling tall tales. Just never thought I'd live to be in times like this. You know, as a prepper, you know, I prepare. You know, as I've stated before, I'm prepared to bug in, hunker down here for an extended period. You know, I'm prepared to leave if I have to. You know, and if I'm far away and something happens, I'm prepared to come home. And so I'm pretty much prepared. But the thing is, the disasters that have befallen us were not disasters that I really saw coming. You know, I've talked about pandemics before, but not the responses to the pandemic where we're going to have this shutdown. You know, we've talked about what would happen if there was martial law. Well, I mean, we're practically under martial law now. We're told we can't congregate. We're told we can't open certain businesses can't be open or can only have so much capacity, where other businesses can just go on. We just see so many things that don't make sense, that we can't connect the dots, you know. We can't cross the T's, we can't dot the I's. Nothing is making sense. And I guess we're just supposed to take it. If you ever get the chance to see the video Ghetto Physics, they are putting a pimp game on us like you never would have believed. I mean, they are telling us things that just aren't so. They're about ready. When Biden gets sworn in and he gets the power of the executive order, who knows what havoc he's going to wreak. And some people are going to be happy with it. You know, the people that voted for those senators because Biden says, hey, if you elect those two senators, we're going to get you that $2,000. But you have to think about one little thing. Where's that money coming from? Those government money printing presses are just going to roll. And that's going to cause inflation. And that means price of everything goes up. So are you going to really be better off with that $2,000? I'm just wondering how many guns are going to be bought with that $2,000 and how much ammo. It's going to be hard to find, and if they get their way, they're going to try and restrict the guns even more, restrict the ammo even more, want to probably come confiscate certain guns. And, you know, there's something out there on the internet that makes a lot of sense, you know. They wouldn't be wanting to confiscate guns, so hot to do it, unless they were planning on doing something they know the people aren't going to like. You think about that. You know, it'd be real interesting if in these public meetings that when these elected leaders are making decisions, if everybody in the meeting was armed and they're about to make a decision, they might think twice about which way they vote on these decisions. You know, you get a room full of people and they want things to go one way, and then all of a sudden these politicians vote the other way. What do you think might happen? Once again, I'm not advocating violence, but you have to understand one thing. Those people who are elected and who are our leaders that, you know, talk about violence is never the answer, that what they're saying is it's never the answer to use violence against us, but it's okay if we use violence against you. Because you see, we make the laws and we have to enforce the laws, and part of that word enforce is force, and force means guns. So see, once you unplug from the matrix, you know, and you can see things as they are, you get to read between the lines, and they can't BS you anymore. And that's the one thing that I urge people to do is to educate themselves. You know, learn logic, learn the techniques of persuasion so you can see how they're being used against you. I'm not saying to learn it so you can do it on other people. I'm saying to learn it so when they're doing it to you, you can see it coming and you can say no. Because they are running that pimp game on you, that's for sure. So, you know, looking forward, you know, what's going to happen in 2021, I don't know. You know, as I mentioned, I'm prepared. Hopefully, things will settle out. You know, one friend says, he goes, everything thinks this is going to blow over. You know, and hopefully the pendulum will kind of swing back, but I don't know. I mean, can't say he's wrong. I just don't feel that way at the moment. But I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm just trying to make people aware so they can prepare, so they don't have to be scared. Because, as you well know by now, if you fail to prepare, then you are preparing to fail.